Alright, what's up guys? Today we're going to be doing a review for Curse to Golf. I did want to shout out the team for giving me an early review code. I got the game over a week ago. I've played about 6 to 7 hours. I have not completed the game yet, so just wanted to put that up front and be honest with you guys right away. And this is more of an impressions early review video than a full review, as I haven't beaten the game yet, but I am over halfway through. There's 4 areas and I've got through the first 2 and I've just started up the 3rd one, but I wanted to get a video out for embargo and to let you guys know what I think. So my review, I usually use the 7P methods, which is the playing, the plot, the people, the places, the picture, the fun, which is the sounds and music basically, then the pop, which is like the wow factor or whatever. So we're going to start with the playing. Now, Curse to Golf is a mixture of golf, roguelite, and platforming. In Curse to Golf, you have to get to the hole in less than par, which is like real golf, but in this game, if you don't get it there in par, which is always 5 by the way, it's not quite as simple as just getting it there in par, and if you don't, it's all fine. If you don't get it there, you get sent back to the start of the game entirely. So along the way, in each level, there is gold and silver idols, which will add 4 and 2 to the par respectively. And there's also a big number of power-ups where you can add to your par, use scatter shots, which send balls in 3 different directions, and then you get to choose one after. You can stop the ball in midair, and there's many more of these. I won't go through all of the power-ups, but you'll see as you get into the game. Now, I do have a little bit of a problem with the power-ups, and not because they're there. I do like the idea, but there's just certain instances where you select the power up and even if you don't use it, it still counts and you can't use it again. And I just feel like the game overall is a little too reliant on the cards mechanic. Like a certain run can be very luck based, which can in turn be very frustrating. Sounds like I'm being quite negative on the game right now, but it does have some really great things about it, and it's really fun to look ahead and strategize, and it's super satisfying to beat a tough hole with not many strokes remaining, like getting there in the nick of time. And I really like the idea of the game and definitely think there's something there. I just don't think they quite hit a hole in one. Now, I will say in my more recent runs, starting from the start and going back, I have kind of from the very beginning been a lot more careful with the power-ups that I've been using and just being very strategic from the first hole that you play in. Like when I was first going in there, I was just using all the power-ups in the first few holes, and then by the time I got to the boss, there's a boss at the end of each area, by the way. By the time I got to the boss, I was kind of all out of my power-ups, and then you're at that point you're screwed, because even if you die to the boss and you want to go back and do the boss again, you're gonna have none of your power-ups, so you gotta start the whole thing again. You gotta start your round again. So that's my like overall thoughts on the gameplay. I think it's really fun and the level design is great, but we'll talk about that a little bit more when we get to the places section. So let's jump into the plot now. So in Curse to Golf, you are thrust right into the limelight and you're taking a winning putt to win a championship, in fact, and you get struck by lightning, dragged to Golf Purgatory, where you meet the Scotsman, a big ginger Scottish man who looks a bit like Seamus, even though Seamus is Irish and not Scottish, and he reveals the bad news to you that you are in fact dead. To get back to the putt, you have to travel through 18 holes, 4 regions to get out of Golf Purgatory. As I said, I've beaten 2 of the 4, so I'm over halfway through. I just did start a little bit of the run for the 3rd one, but didn't quite get into that yet. It does seem like the area is pretty cool though. And then there's the people. You have Seamus, the guy I mentioned. He's the Scotsman. And then you have the woman, the explorer, who honestly, there's not too much depth to her character. And you have the Forgotten as well, who has birds fittingly called Eagle and Albatross. And the one that I haven't met yet is called the Greenskeeper, but he's going to be the big bad finale boss, you would have to assume, trying to keep us all in purgatory forever. So next up is the places. So basically what I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk a little bit about the levels and the level designs. So the first zone / biome is a pretty standard golf style course, but still has very well designed levels with portals and hazards galore. And then you move on to the oasis after you beat the boss. This one is a desert style course with new hazard called spikes, where if you hit it, you actually get a 1-shot penalty on top of being brought back to where you were before, which is really sucky sometimes, because if you have a couple shots remaining on your par, you only have like 3 shots. If you hit the spikes, then you immediately go down to 1. It's like a nightmare, 2-in-1 nightmare there. And then the third zone, which as I said, I haven't seen too much of yet, is the caverns, where you actually gain the gimme, which adds 5 shots to your power once you hit 0, which is a really handy ability to have. There's no doubt about that. And you do seem to get a new ability every time that you complete a new zone. So once I complete the caverns, I'll probably get something new there as well. well. Overall, the level design is incredibly well done, and there's a lot to it. It can take you up to 25 to 30 shots, sometimes even more, to get it in, and that's obviously including hitting idols and using your power-up cards to give yourself more par leeway, or whatever you want to say. And sometimes it makes it all the more frustrating when you fail, you know, when you have to start the whole round again. But all the more satisfying as well when you get it done, of course. So the picture slash graphics, it's just some nice 8-bit art style, kind of with some cool looking characters. Nothing too crazy about the art style, but I do think it's quite appealing to the eyes. And the fun slash sounds of music, definitely the music 100% gave me Pokemon vibes, and that's something that I can 100% get on board with, because I'm a huge Pokemon fan, always have been since I was a kid. There's not really any pop or wow factor to this game, so that brings us to the roundup. Overall, as I said, I do think this game was a really enjoyable one. So I usually rank games out of 30. I would probably give this like an 18 out of 30, which is in the good range, definitely. I thought it was a good game. I think there's some things there that definitely could be improved to make this into the great tier, but I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this little short review. This was definitely a shorter review than I normally do, but as I said, I haven't completed the game yet, so I don't have my full thoughts out there in the wild yet, but I hope you guys enjoyed it regardless. Make sure to drop a like. It's the best way to let me know you enjoy the content. Thank you so much for all the support. It means a lot, and make sure you subscribe to the Epic Sound too. I'll be doing reviews for a lot more games coming up in the near future. Also, if you want to check out some of my other reviews, I did do a review for Stray, and I did a review for The Quarry as well, which should be somewhere up on the screen right now. Those games were very enjoyable as well, if you want to see my thoughts on them.